With Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out, it has really made me just crave more Spider-Man content. So I went back and I replayed Spider-Man 2. The game is so close to being great. It gets so many things right, but a handful of decisions hold the game back from truly reaching its full potential. The combat in this game is just how I remember when I first played it. It is so good. It flows together so seamlessly. All the mechanics are intertwined. It is literal peak. It also just does a really good job at being as complex as you want it to be. Let me explain that a little more. Is you can just straight up spam the square button and dodge occasionally and you're good. You'll be fine. Or it's kind of like Batman Arkham Knight where they give you all these tools in the toolbox and you can use them if you want. You don't got to, but you can. And it makes the gameplay very creative. You can do so many combos, different gadgets, different abilities, and just play around with them. And it's super, I don't know, liberating. It really gets your creative juices flowing. So let's say you're playing as Miles and you do a reverse flux. You bring in some enemies. Now you're going to do a Venom jump. Oh shit, now you're in the air. Okay, now you hit him with a concussion blast web gadget. Now they're all going flying back. You can then you can pull them towards you, bring them back in the air, start hitting them again, and then slam them on the ground, and then pull yourself to the ground, and then you can Venom jump over there. It's just so many different ways of just range attacks, up close attacks, in the air attacks. It's so good, dude. Speaking of the abilities in the game, let's go ahead and talk about those. In my opinion, they serve like three different purposes. You can either do damage up close or at range. So there's like abilities for Miles. He has like this punch, or you can do a barrage of attacks as Peter, which are spider arms. Those are like up close type attacks. Then at range, Peter has like this thing where he just propels himself forward and webs people up. Kind of sick. And Miles has quite a bit of ranged attacks. He has this one where he like basically just jumps through space. I've arrived, and he's gonna start throwing you around. Or you can do he shoots his lightning across the arena type thing. The abilities also can like draw enemies to you. So like how I mentioned in that example previously, how Miles has this ability where he can basically just pull you towards him. It's I really like it because you can combo that. I feel like you can combo that into a lot of stuff. And then Peter has like this one where when he gets the symbiote, he like just grabs your damn head and slams you on the ground. So if you're across the damn room, I'm going to grab as many of you as I can and bring you all towards me and slam you right in front of me. Aura! Then lastly, they're really good for getting the fight into the air. And I really liked fighting in the air as Spider-Man. I don't know why. For some reason, that was like my main way of taking out people. That's just my combat preference, I suppose. So they serve those three different purposes: doing damage, basically at close or at range, or they draw the enemies towards you, or I get the fight up in the air, and you can basically interchange between all. You can flow however you want using those abilities. It's crazy how seamless that is. Now you can't just like spam the abilities either. It takes time for them to recharge, but there's ways you can speed this up. This is what I mean when I say it's so seamless, how all of them intertwine with each other. And I love it, dude. It's so good. There are these abilities you can unlock later on where you take out somebody with a KO or a finisher or something, like just beating people. And that's going to recharge your abilities. Instead of just waiting through time, you beating people will recharge them. That's pretty cool. There's also another ability you can unlock. That is when you perfect dodge somebody, that recharges it. So when you're just taking people out, you're recharging your abilities, you're pairing, it all feeds into your abilities. That's pretty sick. And speaking of the finishers, holy shit! These things are aura, dude! I cannot tell you how cool it is seeing, like I have spammed this one, where I'm up in there as Miles, I'm going to grab your damn collar, do a little spinny roo, throw your ass on the ground. That crap is so satisfying. Or if I'm Peter, I'm up in the air. Got webs on both sides of you. Now hold this. Boot to your face. Now, the web gadgets in this game are a little different from the first Spider-Man. And I remember talking to my friends when this game came out, and we all talked about it. And I think we differed pretty hard on it. How in the first game you had like this gadget wheel of a bunch of different web things you could do to your enemies. In this game, you only can do 4. So they stripped you pretty hard here. However, you don't have to bring up a wheel to pick which one you want to do. So in my opinion, it's more immersive, and it just flows together better. And I remember talking to some friends, and they disagree with me about that back when the game dropped. I still hold to that opinion, though, that what they did here is better simply because it all flows together better. And I mean, the gadgets themselves, they flow seamless into combat, like I was mentioning earlier. You got one like the upshot, puts you up in the air, so you can get the fight up in the air. And then there's one kind of like a shotgun. It's like a sonic thing, like a sonic burst, I think is what it's called. It will basically act like a shotgun, blow them away. Pretty, like, the web grabber is the opposite of that. It's going to bring everybody towards something, and it will grab objects around. And there's one that's kind of like a ricochet, so it'll just web a bunch of people up. So, I mean, you lose some cool web gadgets, but they give you enough to play with here that also flows seamlessly into the combat already. And you don't have to bring up a wheel to pick. So in my opinion, it's still better, but I also see the perspective of the people who like the first one because you do get more, and that leads into like stealth. The first game had more options when it came to stealth, I felt like, because the gadgets just gave you more tools to play with. Like in this game, stealth does not exist. I'm gonna be honest, which kind of sucks because you're Spider-Man. You would think you want to stealthily take out people, but no, we're not doing that. They do give you a web line, though. That is something, I mean, they at least thought about stealth a little bit. I mean, at least a little. They give you a web line where you can basically make a path to walk along to like take people out stealthily. But that's all they did. And all the levels, if I'm being honest, they don't really encourage you to be stealthy. That, if I'm just being honest with you, I think almost every single time I just went in gung-ho and just started throwing hands. Because why would I play stealth when the game isn't conducive to stealth? All these abilities they give you, the web gadgets, it all is like what enemies chasing you. I'm not hunting you anymore. So I hope they do something there because it seems like a missed opportunity to be hunting people as Spider-Man. Also, the amount of just content in this game when it comes to progressing is a little absurd, if I'm being honest. Both Peter and Miles have their own upgrade tree for their abilities specifically, which is nice. They also have a shared skill tree that basically is new combos, new moves, new traversal things that you can do in this game. Then on top of those skill trees, you have basically like suit. I think they call it suit tech, where you basically can upgrade your health, your damage, your focus, which is just how you do finishers, things like that. So quality of life type improvements for you. And you can upgrade your web gadgets that I was talking about earlier. So there's 4 different ways of using your web gadgets. All those have a little upgrade tree as well to them. That is a crazy amount of just grinding. Like that is there's just a lot to, it basically feels like anytime you're going through the open world and getting these unlocked tokens I'm about to talk about, you always are progressing and you feel like you're always unlocking something new to play around with. So speaking of those tokens, you got tokens, tech, and skill points. Those are the 3 things you need to basically progress and unlock new things. And you get all those from basically just going around in the open world and doing stuff or leveling up. Skill points makes sense. And the open world content here is, I'm a little mixed about it. Because I remember playing Spider-Man 1 and those damn backpacks, they were everywhere. And there's some of that still here. Some of that bloat is still in the open world. There is good open world missions, but there is a lot of it that I'm like, this is just filler. This is just busy work. You got the photo mode, take a quick little screenshot. I mean, it's cool, but it feels kind of like, okay. And then there's a lot of go fetch this type thing where there's like these, it kind of played into the Across the Spider-Verse movie. There's little spider bots crawling around. You just go up to it, hit triangle. That is a whole thing. Or There's these Prowler stashes only Miles can do. You go over there, you solve some very mundane puzzle, and boom, bada bing, you get some tech parts. So there's a lot of those. And then there's one that I'm not going to lie, I really didn't like. It was the unidentified targets one, where a Craven Hunter bird thingy robot will make a wind tunnel, you hop in it, and you open up your web wings and you chase it. I didn't like this. It felt kind of forced, if I'm being honest. It felt like they were, or we got to use the web wings for something in the side, like the side content. And it kind of feels like they forced that in my opinion. I won't lie, I didn't like those. They were very boring. Nothing really different happened. Every single one felt the same. So we can get rid of those. There is a couple side missions that I really mess with. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Traversing through the open world, though, is so much. Like, they did so well here. The swinging is so good. I really mess with the swing. It's very much fun to do that. One thing that did impress me about the swinging, though, is when you're swinging as Miles and Peter, the level of difference here is, like, it feels different. It feels very, very different. When I'm going up, like, for example, you're running up a building as Miles, it's just little details here. He'll cross his hands, shoot his webs, and pull himself forward. It's more, what would you call it? Like, more of a style to it, more show-offy. Peter is just literally, he's like plain old white guy, bro. He's just gonna shoot one web, shoot another web, pull myself forward, and keep running. So Peter's more efficient with his movements, and Miles is more show-offy in his movements. And that is across their whole entire swinging style. It just gives them a unique feel when you're playing as one or the other. That also ties into the abilities as well from earlier. They both feel like, it's just impressive how they made them both. They both feel so different, yet they're both so fun. Getting back to traversing the open world, they added some stuff to Spider-Man 2 that honestly, it makes going back to Spider-Man 1 probably feel like so bad. So bad. The two main things I'm talking about here is there's one where there's like a loop-de-loop type thing where you'll like go fly down and you'll get some momentum, spin around a couple times and send yourself flying. That is so satisfying, so nice. And then on top of that, there's like this slingshot thing where you can just launch yourself across Harlem, dude. It's also very fire. But basically they just give you more ways to get momentum faster. Plus the web wings. Like, dude, the traversal here is just so much better than the first game. Speaking of those web wings, though, how do I say it? Like, I'm a little mixed on them because they are cool. They're solid. They feel different. They feel fun to use. But it's not, sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm using them because I want to use them. I need to go all the way across the map. And if I don't use these, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get over there. So it's kind of like you have to use them for efficiency. Especially with all these damn wind tunnels around the map, you kind of are forced to use them somewhat. They are fun, they are cool, and I like them. Outside of that identified target side stuff I was talking about, that it felt like they were forcing us to use them there, like crazy style. It does feel a little, I gotta use this because it's the most efficient way to traverse the map. Then lastly, I do remember people complaining about how there's low skill to swinging in Spider-Man, which I think that is true. There is very low skill ceiling. There isn't a lot to master here. They do add a slider for like difficulty, but it's kind of like not really that difficult still, no matter what you do, because it's just how the game is made. Hopefully they address that, but honestly, I ain't that big of a deal. It's fun, so I don't really care about the skill ceiling to swinging. Then these damn suits, dude. If there's anything Insomniac does, they give you a plethora of suits. Now, they're not always good, okay? So some of these are, they need fired ASAP. That some of them are outrageous with, I don't know what they were cooking up. But then you got like all the movie ones peak. I love running around in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, the Sam Raimi suits, and then they have some cool unique suits. I feel more so for Peter. I feel like Peter had a better selection of suits than Miles, and why they do that to Miles with that Adidas promo, that That shit should be a crime, if I'm being honest. That is outrageous. You also unlock the suits with all those tokens and tech parts I was talking about from earlier. So just like how I was talking about from the beginning, all this stuff just flows together so well. I love that about the gameplay. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this might be my favorite thing about the entire game is at the end of the game when the world is getting all symbiotic and they give you those nests to do. Oh my, I love those I love those side missions. Just having a kind of like horde mode. It's like a mini little horde mode as Spider-Man. Oh my, I'm a big COD Zombies guy. I love that. So having a wave-based thing and I'm playing a Spider-Man with the peak gameplay, dude, it's literally like a match made in heaven. I wish there was like a mode or something where it's just like a timer and you just see how long you can go. Because that truthfully is by far my favorite piece of content in the game. Another basically humified version of those symbiote nests are those boot camps with the hunters. Those are also, they're kind of like your typical outpost stuff. Very cool. So the side content, it got some the expected stuff with it, some bloat with it, and then I love the symbiotic nest. I love those. Now, the side missions, story stuff, let's talk about because this is where it gets a little dicey. So, some of the side missions are really good, and I like them a lot. So, like the send-off they give Howard from the first game, that is so well done. I love that. Or there's that one mission where it goes back in time. You're playing as young Peter and J. Jonah. Damn, Ashton. J. Jonah Jameson. He's like basically yelling at Peter. All of that really good. And then you got some other side content that's like, I ain't gonna lie, dude. It's all of Miles's. I did not like Miles's side content really, like at all. All the ones where he's like, it's like him at his school, bro. We can chop that, dog. We can, boring. Then the biggest side mission in the game, the Flame storyline with Yuri as Wraith. That is so like they were building up something there, so cool. And the tease there is a little crazy though, especially since we didn't get DLC. So I mean, it's kind of like a thing with the whole damn game is they left a lot of stuff unanswered. I feel like they were going to do something with a DLC to answer some of those questions, and it got canceled or they bailed or something like that. Because teasing Carnage in this game makes perfect sense for like a DLC. They just never capitalized on it. They never gave us it, dude. Why? And the game director back in the day also teased a Daredevil DLC type thing.
One of our gameplay editors noticed Nelson and Murdoch's sign is gone. Is that intentional or is that just oops?
Are they okay?
That's a good question. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like they were planning on doing some DLC and it got cut or canceled or something along those lines by Sony or Marvel, whoever's giving them the green light. And it's just kind of a bummer that we never got any DLC. Now the story is where people will get divisive about this game because it doesn't hold that same punch as the first one. For the most part, the first act, so from the beginning of the game, we're the Sandman level, which, by the way, that crap was cinema. That might be like one of the best openings ever. People were gooning before they even touched the damn controller to play as Spider-Man, saying, Game of the Year! Like, it was awesome, the opening level. All the way until Peter gets a symbiote. That's like the first act of the game. For the most part, done very well, very good. How they introduce Kraven and how he's hunting down all the villains and stuff in New York. Awesome. Like, Kraven specifically was done almost like perfectly in the game. The only thing that was kind of annoying about Kraven is they just kill off so many Spider-Man villains off screen. We really only see Scorpion die. That's the only one we see Kraven aura farm, basically. Everybody else that he kills, like Electro, Vulture, Shocker, they're all dead off screen. Kind of sucks we don't get to see that. There's only a couple things about the first act that I'm like, this is a little bit of a miss. One is, dog, we have to get Miles a better storyline here. Why is him writing an essay a big thing for him? A bit like big enough to make a whole damn story about this. Bro, sit down, lock in for a couple hours max, and write this out, my guy. What are we doing? This should not have been a whole plot point for Miles. Kind of crazy that made it through. The reason why that probably happened too is simply because it's very hard. They're juggling a lot of stuff here. We can play as both Peter and Miles, so making a storyline compelling for both, yeah, dog, that's probably pretty challenging. And the story is very much a Peter story with Venom in it, and Kraven. So it makes sense why Miles is more of a backseat, but dog, that is just ludicrous how his main story is a damn essay for the most part. Like, that's a big focal point. Then towards the end of the act is where I feel like the footing is lost and stuff. The mission where you play with Harry and Peter, like they team up, very cool. I mess with that a lot. That was very fun. I feel like they could have used a mission or two more of something like that. Another mission where Harry's helping Peter out, or this is another thing about the story. A mission where, Miles and Harry interact. My guy, please, holy. Because if you think about it, dude, Miles interacts with Harry so little in this game, dude. So it's honestly outrageous, and that is like the most definitive way of saying, yeah, they rush stuff here. Miles sees him at Coney Island, and I think that's the only time he sees Harry throughout the entire main story until he's basically Venom. That is it. That is what? They have a phone call, and they mention that in the boss fight. So not a lot of Miles and Harry interaction here. So I think when Harry got the suit, that would have been a perfect time to do a couple more missions where him, Peter, and Miles all team up. They go do something. Or maybe it's just Harry and Miles that does something. Another mission where Harry and Peter team up to do something instead of just freeing Tombstone. Like, I feel like there should have been more there. Because then once Harry gives the suit to Peter after, Kraven does his thing with Peter, it feels rushed a little bit, dude. Like, we really just rushed giving Peter that suit a little. And then all of Act 2 and 3, dog, talk about speed runs. Peter gets the suit, and then it feels like not immediately, but he gets that crap off so fast. So fast. Way too fast. Because the beginning of the missions, they're cool. They introduce you to like the abilities and stuff. And that's also when you get the surge. Awesome. That is one thing that stays throughout the game that I'm like, dog, this is... When you enter surge mode and you're just piecing dudes up, throwing them on the ground with their damn head, or just, punch them up in there and punch them across the room, that's fire. Miles has a variation of that where he basically just is an atomic bomb of electricity. That's also pretty cool. But back to the story. When Peter gets the symbiote and it's introducing you to all these symbiote like mechanics and stuff, there's like 2 missions before he just goes full blown. Wow. We basically needed more missions to let Peter, let's get familiar with Peter with the suit and slowly build up to him becoming like a prick, essentially. Because I won't lie, the prick scenes, they are pretty good. When he's like, how about you pop some more pills, Harry?
That suit is changing you.
This suit is the only reason I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
Why don't you pop some more pills and say what you're really feeling?
Hey, don't.
Insomniac shows they can cook up some cool writing. There is some corny writing in the game, not by the way, not gonna lie. There's some of that here. More on that in a second. But the when he's like getting mad and they're showing him being taken over by the suit, dude, the writing here is pretty good. We just got there way too fast. I'm not gonna lie, we got there way too fast. Then I feel like this affected the boss fight between Miles and Peter too, because it didn't, I guess it didn't feel as earned as it should have been, because the fight was hype. The fight is hype. There's some things about the fight that is very sick, especially after fighting Kraven to save Miles, and Peter's just showing insane strength and just he was aura farming, but let's be honest here, like it was crazy. But the fight with Miles feels like it falls flat a little bit because it didn't feel earned, in my opinion. They rushed getting to that point. Then once we get Venom, I will say, very cool playing as Venom the first time. I remember being really hyped. Going back and replaying the game, that level is not as cool as I remember it being. I don't know. I felt like they're running through as Venom and destroying the environment. Pretty cool. Liked it. Pretty sick. But the gameplay felt like it should have been more different. I don't know. I don't know. It felt like it was bare bone a little bit, which makes sense because you're only playing as Venom for 20 minutes, something like that. So it makes sense why it didn't feel as complex, but it didn't hit as hard. And the level of disrespect they did to my boy Peter in this game, the power nerfing, he got knocked out. So like Venom, you get Venom and you play as Venom. Before that, bro hits Peter, bro is just knocked out for a whole night. What? And just speaking of the power nerfing, we got to talk about that fridge scene. One of the most like abominations of abominations. Bro gets hit. First of all, MJ's jumping in front of Peter. The hell are we doing here, Peter? Spider Tingle kicking here. Then he gets hits with the fridge. Bro's just down for the count for a solid 3 seconds minimum. Okay, sure. This is guy is Spider-Man. Okay, all right, cool. Then bro gets up, throws the fridge off, and watch Venom pipe MJ with the symbiote. Do something, Peter! Just that, dude, there's so many things like that where it's outrageous. Like, what are we doing here? And the screen fight, cool. It seems like that was rushed as well. And, I mean, the dialogue where MJ's scream and you're fighting Peter, that stuff is all done well and it's cool. But the only thing about it is why after she gets this symbiote off, does she call J. Jonah Jameson and say, yeah, I quit? And Peter's like, you're so cool. Bro, the hell is this? What is this writing, dog?
You did it.
Wait. Not yet.
Watson, where are you with my apple fritters? I'm starving, and
Jonah? Kiss my ass. I quit.
Watson!
You're so cool.
And then speaking of MJ, oh my gosh, dude, the missions where he plays MJ, brother. I remember the director talking about this, how he said they were going to die by it. They're going to try to make them fun. Let's stop. They're not fun. They're not it, dude. They are not it. We hate them. The only mission where it really did work was when Peter was hunting you. When Venom was taking over Peter and Peter was asleep, and he's hunting MJ.
MJ.
That is the only time where I was like, this is sick. Everything else, pack this up. No more MJ missions. Her being in the final mission of the game should be a damn crime. That's Dana, take the stakes.
That's fucking illegal.
So really, once Venom, this black suit, all that gets involved, the whole story just feels like it is running at a Usain Bolt type pace. It's just speed running to the end of the game, which kind of sucks because it was building up to be really good, and it just felt like they had this deadline that they had to reach. The ending, though, teasing Green Goblin as with Norman, all that was Silk as well. Like, they are cooking here, and I'm excited to see what they do with the next game. But God, I hope they deliver because they have a lot of cliffhangers to resolve. Spider-Man 2 is so close to being a great game. The gameplay is fantastic, awesome. It is so good that it makes going back to the first one feel outdated. Like, it's not even comparable. But the story just lacks in comparison to the first one by a mile. And there's some just questionable things they did. And it's unfortunate they just get more time to cook in the kitchen. It is so close to being a great game. I still love it, though. I still go back to it and play it. It seems like at least a little bit every year. Because, dude, I'm a Spider-Man fan. And maybe I should go back and play that first one, huh?